Good evening, Fernwood. My name's Neil, and thank you for joining me for my trip through the entire series of Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. Hopefully, you've seen this before, so you don't need a big introduction to what the show is. We are heading into the March 1st, 1976 episode. We're starting the third month of the show and the series, and let's do a little bit of catching up. Kathy has accepted Steve's proposal for marriage, which is nice. I know that the family kind of has a little bit of an itch. Well, mostly her father George has a bit of an itch as far as Steve, because Steve is deaf and mute and also a gardener, and that is a bone of contention. Although I feel like we're going to see some of that unfold a little bit. As far as Charlie and Loretta are concerned, they are on the verge of losing their home. They may end up staying with Tom and Mary, and Tom and Mary have given their consent for that. But Tom and Mary have their hands full because May is recovering from a suicide attempt, and, well, she's still kind of spiraling a bit. As much as they are being compassionate to her, circumstances aren't too good for her crisis state. Martha came on May in Mary's bed and said some things that really triggered May, and now May has locked herself in the bathroom. I expect that that's probably going to be the first thing that we see. If it's not, it's going to be something we see pretty soon, because, it's a big topic of discussion, and I've been sharing my thoughts about crisis intervention, and I just have a tiny bit of experience with it, but I get the feeling that I'm going to be sharing more of those thoughts today. We're in March of 1976. Let's get started with this episode.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman! And she isn't opening the door.
No, I can see she isn't opening the door. Why don't you go home and I'll call you later?
But you need help.
Which is exactly why I want you to go home.
Well, if you say so.
It'll be a blessing.
Oh.
May, we're alone now, so it's okay to come out.
I don't want to come out.
What are you doing in there, May? It's just a small bathroom. What, are you looking at the new bath set? We ordered it from Ward's. I wanted the spring bouquet, but all they had left was the contempo.
It's very nice.
Well, if you come out in there, maybe I could give you a few decorating ideas for your apartment.
The only decorating ideas I want are a gasoline can and a match.
Oh, May. Somehow that doesn't sound like a very healthy attitude. May? May! It is making me very uncomfortable standing here talking to a closed door.
You can go away.
I want to know what you're going to do.
I haven't decided yet.
Well, is it going to involve ambulance drivers? Because if it is, that's where I put my foot down.
It's my life and I'll do what I want with it.
But it's my bathroom, May! May, there are no pills in there of any kind. All there are a couple of safety razor blades. And I don't want you messing the place up. I mean it. Now listen, May. I use bother me till I'm exhausted to keep that place clean.
I don't care.
May, do you have any idea how difficult it is to get bloodstains out from beneath the cracks in the tile? I mean, I spent half my life scrubbing that bathroom. Also, I care about you.
About me?
Yes. If you could just come out, we could go downstairs and we could talk about what's bothering you. I really want to talk to you.
I really wouldn't have ruined your spring bouquet.
Contempo. I know.
It's just that I feel so stupid and ashamed.
Well, was just one of those mornings. It happens to the worst of us. Are you feeling better?
Yeah, much.
Yeah, you look much better. How do you like the coffee?
It's awful.
Oh, good. I feel relieved. I mean, if you hadn't noticed how bad the coffee was, then the crisis hadn't passed.
Oh, it's past. It wasn't much of a crisis. It was just a little squall.
Well, we all deserve something like that every once in a while, you know, just to let off some steam. Is it really awful?
Yeah.
Was that your first squall?
No.
Mine neither. I mean, I know it wasn't mine, but I felt like we went through it together.
I guess everybody thinks about ending it every once in a while.
Well, thinks about it, yeah. But the most I ever do is, I just go up into my bedroom and cry for, oh, I don't know. I mean, that's when it gets really bad. Like when I turned 30. I haven't done it since then.
I went a little crazy after both my marriages broke up.
Did you have kids?
No. Well, my first husband wanted us to wait until we had a little money, which we never did because he was always spending it on steam mines and left-handed monkey wrench factories.
Well, would that fall under Small Business Administration?
Oh no, that would fall under any sucker can lose a bundle administration. And then my second husband, Mike, well, he was married before, and his wife insisted that he get a vasectomy. I wanted to adopt, but you know, men are funny about that. So finally, all we ended up doing was fighting about what a lousy spaghetti maker I was, what a lousy house cleaner was, what a lousy...
Sounds like a lousy guy.
Oh no, he was sweet. He was a hard worker, and he had a good sense of humor. Sometimes. And he always remembered my birthday and Valentine's Day, even Halloween.
Well, so what happened?
I don't know. You know, we were good and bad, and we liked the same television shows. I guess we just couldn't stand each other.
You know what? You know what I think? I think you're still in love with him.
Oh, you're crazy.
No, May. Do you realize that when you talk about him, you get all shaky?
I am not shaky. I'm just angry about pulling such a stupid stunt and losing 2 days sick leave, and I hate that job. You know, I was thinking about leaving it. I want to quit.
Well, what'll you do?
I don't know. Have you got any suggestions?
Well,
What?
nothing. It's nothing.
Who is it? Go away. Steve. Hey. There's someone at the door. At the door.
Hi, I'm sorry to bother you, but there was a telephone call, and I told them I would tell you right away. It's from Pressburg and Hillington Publishers in New York, and they're sending an airline ticket and hotel reservation for you to be there day after tomorrow. Do you understand? It's for a press conference, an autograph party, and reception at 21. That's a nightclub. Oh yeah, one more thing. What was it? Oh, Time Magazine. They want pictures.
For the cover.
No, honey, just the inside. You better be careful or you'll catch a cold. Rotten.
I'm so proud of you. Go with you to New York? But you're going to be with all those literary people and going to expensive places? What would I wear? What would I say? I can't. I mean, what would I say to those kind of people? No, I wouldn't. I'd never fit in. I knew it was too good to last. I'm not right for you. I mean, you're gonna go off to New York and become a big poet like Rob McEwen or somebody. And I can't even make it through beauty school. I'd embarrass you. If you love me, then you'll stay in Fernwood. There's no talking me out of it. My mind is made up. I mean, I love you so much. And I barely got through dumbbell English. I'm listening. You love me, but you think I'm crazy. Don't you understand? It would wreck everything. If I went to New York and I was a flop, it would be over. And if it has to be over, I want it to be over here, where at least I'm close to home. Oh, damn. I never thought I wish I did my stupid English homework. Oh, I know. You'll probably go off and find somebody who's smart, rich, and sexy. Hey, you dummy.
I see admiration in your eyes, and I believe you think I hung the moon. And if I fell like other women, I'll find the will and try again. 'Cause everything I am begins with you. Or when I want.
I'll get it.
You know, if that's Watchtower,
Yeah.
tell him no, because honey, I didn't understand that last magazine.
Hi!
I hope we're not barging in, but I have been feeling so guilty for not coming over to see poor Loretta.
No, come on in. Come on in.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, there she is, looking just as perfect as ever.
Well, I was just rehearsing here in my wheelchair.
Oh, well, all right, I can see we've come.
No. Love to have neighbors come by any old time. Come on, sit down. Come on in, sit down.
Thank you, Charlie. Say, I like your place.
Thanks.
What are you doing home?
Well, I didn't get my job back yet. Aren't you supposed to be in school today?
Oh, no, not him. They're having a protest down at the school today. They are protesting the eating conditions that are unfit in the faculty cafeteria.
Would you believe it? They're feeding us the same thing they're giving those kids.
Now, Leroy, just forget your own troubles. We are here to cheer up poor Loretta after that awful charlatan con woman. I mean, people like that should be outlawed.
Well, some people do get their inspiration from the Lord.
Oh, really? Well, people like that get their inspiration right from their bank accounts. But after that awful tragedy on the highway, and seeing her whole career go up in a trail of smoke and nuns,
Blanche.
I mean, even a rational person would do something abnormal.
Well, not everybody thinks that turning to the Lord is abnormal, Blanche.
Of course you don't. And neither do I. But when I see a young girl like Loretta, lovely, Sitting in that chair for the rest of her life, with her whole life ruined?
Oh, I've been ruined, Blanche.
This chair's only temporary. Don't you know that?
We've got money for a new recording session. Tell him, Charlie.
We have money for a new recording session.
And a new car.
Oh, that's great, Charlie.
You know, we saw one of those ads, you know, that Nick Reckley or whatever his name is, you know, he has those goats and that turtle he rides and stuff, you know. We saw a 74 Cadillac Coupe de Ville, original paint, $1,100.
You got a Cadillac?
No, not really. I think it's Rick Nutley, honey, isn't it? Rick
Oh,
Nutley.
yeah.
Dick?
Nutley.
Anyway, so you see, when we got down there, they sold the Cadillac already, so the only thing else that they had in our price range was a 71 Ambassador.
Oh, that's a good car, Charlie.
Well, except for this little teensy grinding noise, kind of when you make a left-hand turn, but... Oh, God bless you, honey.
Thank you.
He is such a baby when he gets a cold. And a grouch, you wouldn't believe it.
So maybe you ought to try those 4 and 9 way layered time release capsules. You know they attack all 12 sinus cavities.
8 sinus cavities, honey.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that you and Charlie were losing the house.
Well, who told you that, Mary?
Martha.
Oh, you women, you have a hotline from kitchen to kitchen all over Fernwood.
It ain't true, Blanche. I mean, Charlie and I had just this teensy little misunderstanding with the real estate company and the loan company, and I'd really appreciate if you didn't go spreading it around.
Me? Oh, my goodness, I wouldn't hear of
Because
it.
Loretta is going right back to her singing career at the Capri Lounge. Even in a wheelchair, this is a singing superstar. He's telling the truth.
This is the chorus, kind of for Charlie. For when I wondered, you convinced me that I could. Know when you depended on me, proved I should. And in your mind, you never doubted that I would. What would I do? What would I do if not for you? Oh, Charlie, it's real hard to play in a wheelchair. The guitar doesn't fit.
You know, that was real nice of Blanche and Leroy coming around like that.
Oh, Blanche just wanted to come over and give me some trouble about Dorella Doremus.
Honey, where's your Christian charity? They were just being neighborly.
Lawyer.
Doctor first.
Mr. Haggers.
See?
Don't make him stand out there. Come on in,
I
hon.
feel kind of like a CIA agent. I just hope nobody sees me.
Come on in, sit down.
Oh, thanks. Mrs. Haggers, how good to see you again.
Oh, ditto, ditto. Listen, hon, I just want you to know how much we appreciate all you're doing for us.
Well, when you become a doctor, you take an oath. I happen to believe that oath.
Lawyer.
Honey, there's no bet. That's no fair. Who else could it be?
Oh, hi, Charlie.
Oh, Tom, I forgot you were coming over. Come on in.
Well, you asked me, remember that?
Yeah, I remember. Dr. Abramson, this here is Tom Hartman. He's a neighbor and a friend, and he's going to keep me from botching things up.
Hey, you got another lawyer?
Oh, yeah, a guy who handled a whiplash case for Loretta's recording engineer. A guy named Minnow or Willow or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, nice to meet you, Tom.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, Howard.
Mr. Haggers, I'm Lucius Winnow.
Oh, yes, sir, the lawyer. Come on right in. Come on right in. Now, this here is Tom Hartman. He's a neighbor.
Hi, Mr. Hello.
This is Dr. Abramson.
Hello.
And this here is my wife, Loretta.
I know, sure.
I'm pleased to meet all of you. I think we should get right down to business.
Oh, you mind?
No, just watch the guitar book.
Now, what I have here is the standard form for my 2-year retainer.
2-year retainer.
Well, we never know how long these cases are going to take, Mr. Haggis. Of course, outside of court costs and reasonable expenses, I expect no cash outlay.
Excuse me, aren't you interested in the specifics of Mrs. Hager's case before you, get into all that?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Thanks, Tom.
Son, you handle the bones, I'll handle the business. Huh? Now, what I'm proposing is your standard 33-50 split.
Wait a minute, that don't add up to 100. That's only 83.
Excuse. 33% of any settlement made out of court. 50% if we go to trial.
Isn't that a little high?
That's right. Thanks, Tom.
The way malpractice is being fought these days, it's perfectly reasonable. And frankly, Mr. Haggis, the obvious look of pain and suffering on your wife's face, I think we can soak these stitch-happy jokers for a couple of $100,000.
I don't know that this is exactly what we had in mind.
Well, let me put it in layman terms. You see, without a look...
Mr. Higgers.
Yes, sir.
I'm a Disputes County Deputy Sheriff. This writ is to inform you that you have 10 days to vacate the premises as a condition of a court order handed down by County Court Judge Milmer Patterson. On behalf of the Friendly Loan Company.
Charlie, no!
Mr. Haggis, perhaps you'd like to reconsider signing that contract?
Well, let's cover the early stuff because that's going to be fresh in my mind and that'll give me time to process what's going on with Charlie and Loretta. That first scene where Mary is talking to May through the door of the restroom actually reminds me of kinds of scenarios that would happen in CIT training with friends of mine before I got involved. And so much of it is, come out so we can talk to you. Please come out so we can talk to you. Come out. And of course, a response to that is, well, if you really want to talk, we can talk through the door. Now, that's not great television, and it's maybe not the most comfortable. It's not great television, and it's not the most comfortable way to talk to someone, but if that's the way you get communication out of someone, that's the way you get communication out of them. Of course, Mary, through somehow escalating the situation, at least escalating her voice in the situation, was able to get across to May that she cared. And that is such a vital part of finding someone who is lost. We get then to the next scene with May and Mary in the kitchen, and a lot of this is just letting May say things about her life and seeing and hearing May. Mind you, it ends with that snap from Mary, and I'm a little bit afraid to think that Mary thinks there's a quick fix in this, in that Mary thinks that May's husband is the key, or sorry, May's ex-husband is the key to saving May. So even if she gets back with a guy that she does have feelings for, she's still going to have problems. Suicidal ideation doesn't go away just because you have something. The second setup, which is much shorter, is Steve and Kathy, and Steve getting the offer to go to New York City and apparently get some big press. And I think that's Kathy breaking up with him because she's afraid to leave. And maybe I understand this in terms of wanting to keep a character in the show. Kathy leaving the show means, well, you don't have a job anymore, as an actor, and all that. That's one aspect of this. You've hired someone for a series and they only show up for 2 months and then they're out, or they come back as guest stars or whatever. But I'm a bit saddened by this because there's a lot of potential in the story of seeing Steve. Of course, I don't think that the show is going to take place outside of Fernwood, so they're not going to shoot anything in New York, or even a fictionalized version of New York that's clearly on a soundstage. So I don't expect that to happen. That said, I feel like maybe she could have left for a few episodes and then come back, saying that's not the place for her. I mean, I still think it's a little bit weak in terms of the relationship. I don't know what we're going to see of that. If the relationship is basically over as far as the show is concerned, I'd be a little bit sad, but also I didn't try to spoil myself or anything, but I didn't get the impression that Steve was a long-term character in the show. At least in the promo photos that I see of the show, he's not in any of them. So, and then the final bit is the spiraling sink of despair that is Loretta and Charlie's life. First, the Fedders come over, and we don't really hear more of the Fedders' actual one little story beat that they have in the entire series, but just Blanche being a negative Nancy like she always is, and Leroy just sneezing into the shirts. I'm not sure if that's going to build to anything. I don't expect it to. And then we see the business of this episode, which is we have this scene with Loretta and Charlie being offered this deal that either they go to court with the hospital and sue them for lots and lots of money, or they lose the house, and maybe they'll even lose the house in the midst of the court case. They only have like 10 days. So I'm not exactly sure what to expect of this. Well, that seems to be fairly soap opera antics as far as things go. There are a lot of thoughts that are going on. I expect that we're going to see more about May, and I expect, well, it's very clear to me that Loretta and Charlie are going to have a pretty big arc coming. And Kathy and Steve, I get the feeling that might be done, and I hope it's not, but it might be. So that is the March 1st, 1976 episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Thank you for joining along, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.